in his own fitness studio. He'll come to where you are. He's a wonderful photographer. He comes to the competitions. He knows how to put bodies in position with lighting. If you haven't seen his work, you probably don't even realize you've seen it. On my posts, my stories, my clients, he's based here, goes all over the state, but this is my man Luis. If you guys
So he'll be doing photos.
I was very fortunate in that my first coach was someone that did things in a manner that I think helped my career along. Because there's a lot of my friends that did a contest prep and then they're like, yep, never doing that again. What is my reason for giving you information? I want to grow the sport. I want to show that there are positive ways to do this thing and have a great experience. Sitting on your couch, technically healthy. No, but this is what gets us out of bed in the morning. This is what makes us excited to go do things, right? For me and for everyone in this room, competing is an extension of our love of fitness. This is our starting and ending positions, and actually it's slightly changed now. I didn't update from
What was that, like 2
but
years ago?
so there's two ways to look at a contest prep. You can have more body fat if you have a better metabolic gas tank. That's what I call it. If your calories are really high, cardio is really low, and you have a little bit extra body fat, great. But if you're got a lot of body fat and you're eating very little food, then we're in trouble. Maria did a show last year, Mr. Pro Card by 1 spot, and came out of that show very intentional, right? So I wanted to talk about a healthy starting position, and I wanted to highlight Maria because she's a week out. 126 pounds, right? So she only had to lose, we're not getting any leaner than this. This is 118. So she only had to lose 8.5 pounds in prep, right? So could her food have gone higher than 250 carbs, 65 fat? Sure, but her body fat would have gotten higher, right? So we planned forward for her to be in contest prep for this year. And if she might have been on like trace carbs or fats from whatever she was eating, so I don't even know how you could do that possibly. But I just want to give you guys a basic knowledge and understanding for where we should be, right? There's no, this has to be and this shouldn't be. There's like a little window that I'm going to give you guys. So based on current research, how much protein should we eat? 1.2 to 1.7 grams per kilogram of body weight, right? Which obviously we don't live in the United Kingdom, so nobody knows what that means. That means between 70 and 100 grams of protein is optimal, 100 being the high end. So 1.2 to 1.7 grams per kilogram of body weight. So kilos are, it's 2.2, so a 130 pound athlete would probably be like, what, 66 kilos or something like that, right? Fats, the lowest I like to see them is 17 to 25% of your daily calories, right? 17% being the very low end. 25% is like, you know, middle of the off season. That's a really good number. Macros. And then how much is too much? So over consuming protein, like I mentioned to that girl, because she was eating so much protein and so little fat and carbs, she was having digestive issues, she was having hormonal issues. So you can over consume protein to the point where it will cause problems down. On a 2,000 calorie diet, that's 37 to 55 grams. So my thresholds, which I'll go over here, are really not to go below 35 grams of fat with a female athlete, unless it's like a week out and we just want to test digestion or something crazy, right? Gonna cause problems, which we'll get into. First of all, hormonal suppression. All the hormones that your body makes come from the fat that you ingest. As many carbs as possible. Carbohydrates are protein sparing. They're great for performance. So if you want to keep muscle, even when carbs get low, so let's say basic carbohydrate intake on a 2,000 calorie diet, 225 to 300 grams per day. Does that sound normal or high to anybody in here? Does that sound high? So if it sounds high, what I would suggest doing is trying to walk your carbs up to a little bit higher number. Like anyone that's worked with me knows I try to reverse calories up during the improvement phase, try to build that metabolic fuel tank, I like to call it, because the more that I have to pull from when we start a dieting phase, the better off you're gonna be. Should you be on a super restrictive meal plan? Why not merge the two, right? So Rachel called it structured flexibility. That's a concept that Dr. Joe came up with, and I love the term because I think people think when I give them macros, like, oh coach, I can't do macros, I need a meal plan. I say, yes, you need a meal plan. You need to dieting or macro tracking is not about creating a system where we get to eat ice cream and eat crap all day. No, we all know the good foods that we digest, that keep us full, that have lots of minerals and micronutrients, right? We're not trying to work around that. what we're trying to remove is this idea that there are these 7 or 8 magic foods that we should eat in prep. That's healthy. No. So I want to talk a little bit about thresholds for the basement, for calories, macros, and the threshold at the high end for cardio. So protein, not under 0.8 grams per pound. So if you're 100 pounds, don't go under 80 grams of protein per day, and you will not risk muscle loss, right? But that's the scientific literature. No one here is going to eat under protein, right? That's our moms, our dads, our friends. That's not us. We're bodybuilders. We eat protein. Not over 1.5 grams per pound, right? So if you're a 200-pound athlete, you should not be eating 350 grams of protein a day. I tried that. Not comfortable. So, you know, those are the ranges for protein. Carbs. Now, listen, I coach some pretty special athletes. The stuff that I put up here doesn't apply to them every single day of prep. There's a point in prep where you're trying to do special things like turn pro, go to the Olympia. You do what you have to freaking do. Again, 35 grams is my I start to get worried. All right, how are we doing? How are you feeling? Are you getting extra sad? Is your cycle extra rough? 35 grams of fat is pretty low, and that's triple what I see some teams prescribing, right? I've seen 10, 12 grams for a while. So when I say 35, that's pretty low. Now, do I have girls go below that for short periods of time? If we got to do what we got to do, make it work, we will. But that is a number that definitely makes me nervous. Yes, ma'am. Cardio is walking. Cardio is running. Cardio is riding a bike. Cardio can be anything. Playing with your kids. I like to play kickball with my kids. And now that I'm dieting, I'm like, yeah, this counts as cardio. I'm kicking the ball with my kids, right? So the only limit with cardio for me, again, because like I said, I get to work with special athletes. So I'll have conversations. Hey, I don't want to take your carbs below 80. Can you add 15 minutes of cardio? Absolutely, right? So when time is more available, we can do more cardio. HIIT cardio, which we touched on yesterday, at the beginning of prep, maybe, if you love it. I don't love HIIT cardio, just because I'm really focused on the performance of the athlete in the gym, keeping and building muscle through resistance training. Every now and then I have an athlete that likes to do a HIIT cardio session, you know, once a week, maybe after a leg day, they like to do something specific. I'm fine with it, and it doesn't make sense, right? Like, why? I don't understand. Like, the laws of thermodynamic state, you're burning more calories and you're taking in less calories. Why are we not losing weight? Why is the body fat staying the same? I call this chronic inflammation syndrome. So I'm going to show you 2 different styles of prepping. Prep 1. This is our weight at the beginning, and you see it kind of comes down over time. This is our cardio at the beginning, and it just goes up and up and up and up. It plateaus when the scale's coming down, right? So our weight's coming down, we're not going to add more cardio. But what happens when the weight plateaus for a couple weeks? We bump the cardio way up. We drop the calories way down. This sad face is you getting on the scale and realizing you did more cardio, you ate less food, and the scale's up 2 pounds. For after the show, right? Bad place to be. So what does what I'm about to show you change? This is called a diet break. This does not mean you take a break from dieting, okay? This does not mean prep's over for the week. I haven't come up with a better term for it. I'd like there to be a better term, but right now it's just accepted, diet break. What is a diet break? A diet break is we get to a place in prep where the weight has stalled. The weight stalled right here. Calories actually go up and cardio comes down. Why? To get rid of that inflammation, to get rid of the digestive issues, to put our hormones back in balance. Now I know it's when they're a little bit depleted, but when we fill out, they soften, the lines kind of soften. We got to lose 2 more pounds. That's how we get to that look. Yeah.
Is that also why when you're like really leaned out at the end of prep and you drink, you're like immediately, I don't know.
Yeah, your body doesn't hold water. That's also why you crave sodium. Who here sodium, they like salt, they like soy sauce, they like hot sauce at the end of prep. So my theory on that is because our fat cells are actually like an organ in our body. They send signals to our brain. They're like, dude, we're dehydrated. So our body is like taking more sodium to hold more water. I eat a ton of hot sauce and buffalo sauce at the end of prep. It's like, I put it on rice cakes. Fats start to go up a little bit. The reason I like to have fats go up a little bit as carbs go up is fats aid in digestion. Your body needs fat to break down food. You don't want it sitting in your stomach. 100 on Monday, 150, and we're going up 50 carb, 40 carb, 40 carb, 40 carb, and then we're gonna have a window based on how you look when you wake up. Usually by this day, the scale starts to drop. Say they're 112, 112, 111, 110.8, 110.6. Now they're starting to maybe burn through their food faster. I have to increase this a little higher. I'll also do a little dirty food here, maybe like a burger.